Hello and welcome back to the Lease Summit Town Hall Podcast. I am your host, Nick Parker. Just a reminder that this podcast is brought to the good people by Budget Blinds of Lease Summit. They are a great local company run by a great local company. Not only are they involved in everything, supporters of lots of great local nonprofits, it's also just a really cool store for you to go in and get your home treatment stuff. They are your home for enlightened style shades. They're also, I'm going to look at my guest here and tell him, I don't know if he knows this or not, but if you like robot things, if you want to control it with your phone, or you want to control it with your smart speaker, that's the place for your robot shades. You can go in there, tell them, hey, Siri, open my shades, and they'll do it for you. Budget Blinds is a great local store. Go see them right in the heart of downtown Lee's Summit. Tell them Nick sent you. All right, this is an episode long. I feel like the guy from Police Academy. Very long time. This is a long overdue episode. Welcome, Babir Sultan.
Hey, thanks for having me.
I met Babir when I first moved into the vault here at Bridge Space in 2018. He is also a fellow Bridge Space member, an entrepreneur, owner of FavTrip convenience stores, and I have admired from afar. Well, not really afar. I guess we talk all the time, but I've admired your attack, and I really think I'm going to use that word. It's like on offense, the way you attack business and business aspect. And so finally, we've talked about it. We have rescheduled many times. Yes. Finally, after a few years, we get you on, and just as a local business owner, I think you've got a great story. You come from a family that runs convenience stores, but you went off on your own. I think that's like the great place to start, where you just decided, you know what, I'm going to go do this myself.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
What was that impetus?
But before I would get into it, you're the same way. I've been seeing you doing what you do, and we rub off a lot of creativity side of things. So I've been learning from you as much as well, and that's what life is about. Learning from each other.
I love that. And I've told people too that like we just will exchange. We both kind of like to play with the AI stuff.
Yeah.
You are really into it, and we're going to get into that.
We're going to share everything
in a little bit. But I do like that you're into the creativity stuff, and we've talked video and video editing and software and tools that we use. Shared a lot of that, but I really want to start off and dig into that business side of things, and I think, like I said, I think the good place to start is. You were already in a family that owns things.
Yeah. Well, my background, honestly, has been, I'm originally from New York. So my background...
Listen, you're from everywhere.
I'm from a little bit of everywhere, yeah. But originally, Brooklyn, New York, started off with odd jobs when I came to America, whether it's construction, holding the door for rich folks was my job. A lot of my family members come from being doormen. Even my father was a doorman. My uncle is a doorman. My brother right now is a doorman, right? It's a good job, easy job, pays well in New York. That's basically you're in a fancy building holding the door for people, right? A lot of immigrants like that sort of job because there's not too much involved other than saying thank you, have a good day, right? So I came from that and I thought that was it. I made the American dream. I was doing construction, found a job but I soon realized the country has a lot more to offer. So I always had a knack for, studying and learning was my thing. So even back home in Pakistan, I always was into computers, and the internet revolution came along. I was like, my goodness, this is so cool. I will take a computer apart and mess around with this. I kept studying and started doing technology things. I finally landed a job at JFK Airport being a network admin. So that was, fun. Family comes to visit.
Fun's a weird choice of
Yeah,
words
it's
there.
fun. Fixing computers was fun for me. And basically solving problems. You talk about entrepreneurship, you're basically, the gist of it is solving problems for your customers or vendors or suppliers, right? So I took great pride in finding solutions for, airline problems. So it was a great thing when we see things are chaotic, you're the savior coming through to fix the airline's problems.
We all have a little bit of a superhero complex, right?
So come to visit Missouri, and I was like, my goodness, this is so cool. Like, I just came to visit. Then I had other family members that were in the business, and I was like, cool, you guys do your thing. I'm very happy in New York, but I do love Missouri. If I could have my way, and I had a job lined up at Sprint because my parents said, we're going to move here. I was like, great, it's beautiful here. New York, if you've been to the East Coast, is very busy. Bus, train, people walking.
It's a different world.
It's a different world. So this was more relaxing, but again, my jobs kept telling me I need to stay there. Then I landed a job at Sprint, had an interview, second interview, and my parents go, guess what? We're leasing a store, and who's going to run it? You. And I was like, huh? I have no idea about running a store.
So you got suckered into the family
I got
business.
suckered in, and I'm glad I listened to my parents and not myself. I was like, no, I have a job lined up at Sprint at the time, and I'm going to go there and work. And they're like, no, and in our culture, you listen to your parents. You know, you have no saying in it, and they put the hammer down, right? So I was like, fine, I guess. So I learned from my family members how to run a store. I was working day and night, sometimes sleeping in the store because we had no idea how to even hire somebody as a second or overnight shift. But eventually we learned, and 20 years later, you know, we have multiple locations. Some are leased out, some are FavTrip. And I've been learning locally through UMKC. The crazy thing is that I went to college taking my problems to college with the business. So my business came first, education came later. So that's how it's been.
Which is kind of a backward from what we're always taught. We all jump in.
Yeah. And I highly recommend somebody go that way. So semesters that I couldn't afford to go, I would skip. And then semesters I could afford, but I was very strategic on, you know, what classes I want. And there's part of the youth thing where you want to figure out what you want to do in life.
Right.
I was taking 3D animation class, and one semester I took, because I was inspired by a Pixar movie, and the whole semester we just made one hand, and it did this. And I was like, man, I was thinking I'm going to shoot a feature film of animation. Right? So I was like, this is not for me. Lo and behold, you know, 15 years later, AI, you could put a prompt now and it could give you a full-on animation.
You can do that in 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Things have changed so much, and you have to be, you know, there's that classic book, and you'll hear us talk about books about who moved my cheese, right? Where do I fall under that? Do I stick around and say, oh, God, you know, AI is ruining my life, or do I use it, move on, make it better, right? So which mouse are you? Right.
I love the dichotomy there because, you know, you went to school because you already had your path set, but you had the problems you wanted to figure out how to solve. I think there's a lot to be said for that. still think there's a lot to be said for go to college and figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, my son just started his first semester of college.
Congrats, that's awesome.
He says he's at UMKC as well, your
yeah.
alma mater. You know, he says he knows what he wants to do, and I think he'll chase it. But you never know. I mean, I had no intentions of getting into journalism when I went to college. And my second year, I stumbled in and I met people, and they kidnapped me and put me in the newsroom and didn't let me escape.
Good, I'm glad they did. It's good for the community.
It was great for me.
Yeah.
It was great for me. But I do love that idea of education with a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and
absolutely,
I think
that's a good way of putting it.
I think we're getting better, even at the local school level, of working with students, with kids, to figure out, you know, what skills you have, what ambitions you have, what goals and helping them find those paths, so that you don't go to college or whatever your next step is, you don't go lost. Yeah,
find your ikigai, right? Another book. If you haven't read it, ikigai basically, you know, you have purpose, it's meaningful to others, and you get paid and you make a living for it too, right? So it's like combine all those. For me, it was like retail is feeding one side. Then I had a creativity side. So if you're from the East Coast or West Coast of California, you're always involved in some way in filmmaking. So even though I was working at the airport,
everybody's an actor in New York.
Everybody's an actor, director, wannabe, right? So I was shooting films with my friends or editing with them on the weekend just for fun. I was working at the airport. I had one guy that was a director that was working with me, and he's like, man, I need an extra person to hold a mic or do this. I would do anything just to be involved, and it was fun. And then I take that and I apply that at FavTrip. You know, we reach almost 19 to 20 million people a month through our social media.
Yeah, I was going to get to that. I mean, this is crazy.
So I'm going back to...
You just hit 100,000.
Yeah, 100,000 on YouTube, 100,000 on Facebook. TikTok, we have 48,000 right now. We're aiming for that 50. And this is all organic. Yeah. Not paid, right? That's the main thing as well. We're not paying anybody as well. So we make fun and we sit on the board with, you know, people like 7-Eleven. So we say, you have the number of stores, but we have the number of online followers. So we like to poke fun at each other about that, right? And we're very local. A lot of people message us from Germany, Mexico, California, New York. Hey, when are you opening a store here? We love to have a FavTrip here. We have no plans of, you know, going nationwide or international at all. It's just local Kansas City surrounding areas. I
want to put a pin, and I want to come back to that, but I want to stay on your kind of I think the flow here, talking about your social media and your video stuff, and you worked, you took all those jobs. it's fun to me to watch just from the outside because you run a convenience store. And so my brain, you should be thinking about selling gas, selling candy bars, and snacks.
Yeah.
I've never talked to you once about gas, soda machines, or snacks. But you and I'm going to use the word again, you attack the business from all of these other angles.
Yeah.
What I mean, is that just, it's fun? Look, we do things because they're fun too. But I mean, what do you see that says if I do these things, it'll make it better for the core part?
Yeah. So I found my happy place, I call it, right? So I have retail, social media, video marketing, and then technology, right? Combine those three circles internally. That's my happy place.
You've got your Venn diagram.
Right? That's
there.
and everybody has a different one, right? Again, I know a lot of students, high school, listen to this podcast. Another book I'll tell them to read and also take an online test is called Strength Finders, right? Check that out. It gives you your 5 core strengths. One of mine was executing and doing things, strategizing, right? So I love strategizing, coming up with idea, and then seeing them through. And I have a learning thing too. Like I love learning.
You
right?
just a couple years ago went and chased a degree at MIT.
Yeah. I went to MIT. I got my MBA, executive MBA at Rockhurst University, right? I can't help but have some sort of study going on. It's just... But
I love learning, but I hate going to school. Like you would have to pay me a lot of money to go.
You don't have
again.
to go to school, honestly. If you have a system and process in place, there's a lot of people literally I know that are learning off of YouTube. Nothing wrong with that. They can enroll in a playlist of watching AI agents and things like that. Learn. The sky's the limit. I don't tell anybody I think the route of chasing a degree is old school, and if you have to for a certain reason. For me, it was like, hey, I have these particular problems I want to solve using the professor's help and things like that. And I love branding, so that's kind of, I would anybody that's listening to this, find your core 5 strengths, and you could take that test. You'll be surprised how spot on it is, to be honest with you. And then you take that and use that.
My personality, I hate those. I hate somebody telling me who I am.
Yeah.
And like, deep down, I'm going to admit it's right.
Yeah.
But my personality is, you can't define me.
Yeah. But take it in any way we can. We could take it in many directions, right? For me, I take that, but it also tells you the negative of that too, right? Just because you're such a learner, and this is with me too. Like we used to have scholarships through UMKC, and we were telling our staff, 50 of them, hey guys, apply for the scholarship. Just because I'm such a geeking out about learning doesn't mean somebody else shares that same thing, right? Some do, some may not. But the ones that do, we want to reward them. But I think sometimes you could get lost in it just because it's my strength. I expect everybody. So I had to come to terms with that and say, calm down. Just because you're into something doesn't mean everybody else is too. So I learned that over the years too.
How to meld it into your goals. Well, I want to talk about goals and your social media channels and your love of that work. I think one of the biggest things people have is, okay, I can do something. I can grab a bunch of followers. I can even have something that hits, oh my gosh, in a week we had 100,000 views of this video. Translating that, though, to traffic to your website, traffic to your business isn't easy.
No, and that's where you have to be. And we weren't always goal-oriented when it came to that. We were just throwing out content, hoping what stick. Oh my God, that we had a viral video, a million views. What does that really mean, right? So I like the more ongoing process and being goal-oriented. I love a customer walking in and saying, my goodness, I never knew you guys were here until I saw your YouTube channel. This is so cool. I'm here. And they're taking pictures. And we have a YouTube partnership where we've got the Plat now, and they're like taking pictures of that.
That's got to be a huge pride
It's a huge,
when they send that thing.
Yeah. I was like, whoa, okay, that's cool. So I just love that engagement with that customer and not taking yourself too seriously. That's how we look at it. Honestly, anybody chasing views is I met people over the years that are partners that might have 2,000 subscribers, but they have a whole business around consulting or something else and affiliation, and they're making good bank, right? So just because somebody has 3 million subscribers and they might be getting views today because they have one viral video, and and I study a lot of other channels too, just for the kicks of it too. Their latest video might be getting 5,000 views because staying relevant is an ongoing struggle, but you have to align it with your goals. What is your end goal here? Are you building a personal brand? Are you building, Feastables, Mr. Bar, Beast over here? Everybody looks at that and say, I could do that. Even my kids, I got kids that they want to be YouTubers, and a lot of people want to be YouTubers. I give them some work to do script and editing. It's a lot of work.
It's a lot. It's not just being consistent and constantly
Yeah.
pushing content.
Yeah.
Like you said, you've got to kind of set a goal and make the content
Yeah.
to meet that goal. You started your channel, or at least how it grew initially, was you use security footage
Yes.
of people shoplifting,
Yeah.
and you do voiceovers, and they're hilarious. And people throw the channel out because people need to go watch this. What's your channel?
FavTrip. Just FavTrip, yeah.
That FavTrip.
Yeah.
Your voiceovers are great.
We're having fun. Yeah.
But that's not all you do now. You're doing a lot of other. So
Yeah.
what was that kind of transition of? Hey, we're getting a lot of people watching these, and they're hilarious.
So we had a good transition where we're retail. We've done a lot of creativity, marketing things. Now back to the tech side of things now, right? So we're leveraging AI to detect shoplifting now, right?
I know.
That's our next big
It's
thing.
both cool and a little bit creepy.
Yeah, it is.
It's
yeah,
a little bit
it is.
scary.
Yeah, because every store has cameras, right? We're trying to find the best way of utilizing them. How do we utilize them to detect shop? We're one of the few stores that has 24/7 live monitoring. And we don't offer it just to our store. We started offering to other retailers too, and we've been getting customers in that. So it's our transitioning that my day-to-day doesn't look busy at FavTrip. I have a kick, and I'm speaking at NACS, which is National Association of Convenience Store, the biggest trade show for convenience stores, right? So I get flattered when they say, hey, come and talk to us about marketing, AI, and retail. And I was like, great.
I need 6 hours.
Yeah, exactly. I could fly to Chicago and do this, which is happening next week, right? So I get a kick out of, combining because when I came into the industry, it was honestly very boring. It was going back to everybody says, stay in your lane, just sell snacks and fuel, and don't think of anything. I was like, oh, this is depressing, And why the YouTube channel grew too is, again, back to having a problem. Our problem was people were 5-6 times shoplifting. And I was like, if you're hungry or thirsty, just ask us, don't steal, right? But somebody literally last week is getting $40 in gas, but she's still stealing $2 worth of snacks, right? We stop her pump. She comes back inside and raises hell. I was like, hey, if you could pay $40, you could pay for those snacks. Come on now.
Yeah.
Right? But somebody like that has money that does it, we'll put them on blast. And it turned out to be where we were getting 5-6 shoplifters a day to maybe once a week, then once a month maybe now with the live security. So we invest back into the store, right? But in return, now we're doing content that is a little different now. We're showing some behind the scenes, like TikTok. We didn't know this. And again, inspiration can come from everywhere. Your inspiration to us and how you do your thing. Where we were looking at coffee shops doing live TikToks. And I was like, they're not doing anything. They're just making coffee. And we took that same idea and we started going live, and our staff is running a shift. One time I tuned in for an overnight shift. I wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning or 4 a.m. I saw 300 people tuning in, watching somebody do their shift. I was like, this is cool. And the awesome.
They're just live streaming their shift.
Yeah, their shift. They're just running their register and commenting once in a while. And I was like, this is so unique. And the comments that I love was, hey, I live down the street. I always pass by you. I didn't know you were at that store. Or I take this exit, and now I'm going to come by and take a picture with you guys, or a selfie with this staff member or that staff member. So the staff is the personality now. Like I'm taking a back seat and doing things behind the scenes, but the staff is running the show now.
Let's talk about that a little bit. How do you think that's empowered your staff? Because I think we all try to search for that, right?
Yeah.
Like how to empower them and let them feel good about what they're doing so that you can delegate, push a little more onto them, and you can go to the next thing. Because look, when you own and run the business, there's always the next thing.
I think as business owners, we get in our own way a lot. And that was my biggest thing. And I have to give a shout out to a local mentorship is HEMP, Hellsberg Mentorship Program. They put me on the spot and said, my mentor told me that you need to start delegating, because I thought nobody could run the register better than me. Then I got away from then I started doing management. I was like, and I wasn't growing from one store to multiple. Then I was like, nobody could order better than me. Nobody keep up with the inventory. I had to be okay. Today, the show is run entirely by the staff. Like I'm not even there anymore as much as I would love to, but I literally had to.
Which is funny because you built yourself a nice office in,
yeah,
in one of
and I don't
them.
go there. I like coming to Bridgespace here, which is an awesome place, and I get to meet cool people like Nick. But that's the thing, like you're so busy working in the store, not on the store. So you have to give the staff autonomy. And I'll circle back to the strength finder, not knowing just your strength, know your staff's strength, right? Some of our staff members, we ask them, do you like doing TikTok? And I see them on there and I was like, would you like to take over the TikTok page with a better pay? Yeah, hell yeah. And let them do that. If I can't do the dance videos or nothing, but they enjoy doing it. Let them do that. Be okay with that. And if they screw up, you have to be, okay with that and then learn them, teach them as you go along.
I think that's a great lesson with anything of technology is be okay with you screw up.
Yeah.
Be okay with having to make shifts. And I'm going to go back to, 20 years ago when newspapers, we were just building websites. I mean, we were really just getting into it. And, you design, and I remember there was a designer who said, it's okay to shift gears. And like, you should.
Yeah.
Like,
who moved the cheese,
yeah,
right?
because
What
I mean,
happened? Situation has changed.
old print, right? The legacy things, we would take a year to work on a redesign. And it's different. It takes that kind of time and focus groups and all the things, right? But to shift your brain when all the digital came around to be like, hey, it's okay to, you notice something, you know how you can be better, just do it.
Figure it out.
And if it's wrong, fix it tomorrow.
Yeah. And that's with our industry, any industry, right? Like newspaper, always everybody used as a classic example.
Well, yeah, because we fought the internet
Blockbuster.
harder than anyone in the world, and we lost.
Yeah. Same thing with AI now, right? Like creativity wise or anything else. You're gonna keep fighting it or use it or utilize it. For us, the biggest threat everybody says EV, right? As a gas station, I'm not concerned because we're gonna figure out ways that we could internally make different offering. Like one of our store here in Grandview, Missouri has Caribou Coffee. We have a bakery system. For us, it's like, okay, gas is great, but if we got to put 4 EV station and people come inside and chill and sit down and have a meal, great. We'll transition over to that, right? So you got to be able to, reinvent yourself.
It is the biggest secret of convenience stores, gas stations for people that you really don't make your profit off the gas.
No,
you have to have people come inside.
Yeah, because inside we know on a can of Coke how much we're going to make any given day. With gasoline, you're at the mercy of the market. It changes every day.
It changes during the day.
Yeah, during the day or at middle of the day. Somebody could send you a price that you're making 5 cents, and the next half an hour you could be losing 10. You just never know. And if you're next to a very competitor market, Quick Trip, Murphy's, or the big boys,
right?
It gets really tough, especially a small operator like us. You heavily rely on inside sales, right? And we're a unique store, as you know. We don't sell liquor, lottery, and money orders, right? We position ourselves as a family-friendly local store. So it's even a bigger challenge for us, but we don't mind getting creative.
Is that a hard decision, hard thing to stick with? Because I mean, I think, and I'm a little bit in the, I'm in the I'm beer adjacent.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I know.
Like
it goes against.
But I know that I know the kind of money you can make, and people will go places.
It's
just
always
to get
tempting
whatever.
when it comes to money. Obviously, it's tempting. Even right now, there's a bunch of, you'll see gambling machines at stores, people sitting and gambling like casinos right now.
Right.
We're not getting into that at all. It's just for us, it's more like there's a niche market. They say the rich is in the niches, right? We like to hone in on the niche market where we say, if we don't do this, how can we challenge ourselves to do something differently? It might be less money, but if we could tap into the market that doesn't want a guy standing outside the store asking for beer money, why not, right? Less trouble for our staff as well. We have a great retention rate with our staff too, which is a blessing in itself. Because I know some stores that sell liquor and they get equal amount of trouble.
Yeah.
And they have a hard time staffing as well. For us, we're blessed to have people that have been with us for 6 years, 8 years. And at the same time, we literally have one employee that was going through a school for, being a hairstylist. We supported her through her journey. She just graduated now and got a job, and we're, by all means, we want to be a good reference for her, and we're encouraging her to take the job and move on. like use us as a platform and move on if you have some other dreams.
One of the best bosses I ever had sat me down one time and said, Nick, if you and I are doing the same job in 3 years, I screwed up.
Yeah.
And that has always stuck with
awesome.
me, and that he knew
you're meant for something
well,
greater
and not
bigger.
just me, but anybody. He's like, he said, my job as your boss is not only to get the best out of you at this whatever position you're in now, but to get you to move up.
Yeah.
To go do other things as
That's
well.
awesome.
And that lesson stuck with me.
Yeah, coming across somebody is a blessing like that. For me, my doorman job, when I was a doorman, I had one job, which was open the door for some of these rich folks. I literally forgot about doing that because I was lost in my books. So my boss, Mario, who came to me, he's like, hey, I know you're not going to be with us for long. I could feel it. I know it. You're going to be somewhere else. But while you're here, make sure you open that damn door first. Whoever comes through the door. And don't forget. I was like, I'm so sorry. I'll make sure. And I made sure I did. I kept one eye up. And he goes, well, maybe try doing the book reading after 1 a.m. Because my job was from overnight till 5 a.m. in the morning. And I did that. And I was good. And when I got the job at the airport, he was not surprised and gave his blessing and turned in my 2 weeks notice. And he knew it was coming. But if somebody awesome like that, he could have said, hey, I better not see you cash this or that. I would have left anyway, but it would leave a bad taste. But I remember him to this day. And that's what we want to do.
And that makes you a better manager as you move on.
Yeah, I want to be treated, my staff, the same way, where I say, oh, Amazon's paying you better. I can't be the Google of the stores. I can't give you those beanie bags. And, I know what we stand for, what we can't do. But while you're here with us, take the experience, take the learning, take the technology learn. Go somewhere else. Find some interns we got from colleges turned into full-time jobs here at our store. And then recently we had a guy that landed a job at, some of the local big tech firms by using some of our AI and learning and building up a resume. So we look at ourselves as hey, you want to stick around for us, you found your ikigai here, keep doing it. But if you want to use us as a platform and go somewhere else, please do that.
When I was in the corporate news world, and I had the little division I ran, I loved hiring the young kids. I mean, I could afford them because they didn't know how valuable they were yet. So yes, I took advantage a little bit, but also like knowing we were able to get people that were a little ambitious, that were super smart. Always, it's cliche, but always hired people smarter than you.
Oh,
they were more talented than me. They were smarter than me. I think one's a COO now. Of a big tech company.
Yeah, you should be proud.
And that is, to me, that's a sense of pride of I had this guy, he did amazing work for me, and now look at him.
Yeah, it's awesome seeing their profile, LinkedIn, being updated and saying, hey, I'm working here now or there. It's awesome to see the growth. You want to see people grow, be a resource. I always tell the greatest pride you can have is in this world, how are you a resource to somebody else? I
love that.
Yeah, so that's what we want to be, a resource to the customers, to the employees, to the community. We do a lot of local community between FavTrip. Like we're doing one with Wayfair right now. Last month was the fire departments locally. We're very local. We've done some with Children Mercy. Like every month, part of our FavTrip Friday profits go towards a local charity.
That's great.
And if you're a local charity, reach out. We like to be very local centric.
We love that. Maybe in a couple Tuesdays on the 21st, we've got our nonprofit spotlight lunch here.
Absolutely.
You can come out. You can meet Lee Summit Cares.
There you go. Yeah.
There you go.
Absolutely.
And that's the whole point of this series. I know I'm gonna plug myself while I'm talking to you.
Please do.
But the whole point of the series is to connect these nonprofits with business owners and community leaders, so that they can form those kind of partnerships.
Yeah, it's a relationship. So sometimes we're establishing relationships, a lot of back and forth. We don't know enough about each other.
Right.
Okay, what is it that you do? Okay, how can we do this? How can we support you? Other than writing a check, which is not fun. We rather, Eastern, Midwest Easterns that support disability, kids with disability, they're coming to the store on a Friday, telling people about their, what they're doing.
Let them tell their story.
Yeah, let them tell their story.
Fantastic.
That's awesome. And then at the end of the month, here's a check of what we made from the gasoline sales on Fridays, and it's an all-around awesome thing. So we're very local focused.
I love that, and I love that idea of finding the ones where you like writing the check. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, like, people ask all the time for donations and support, which is great. They should ask, and we should give. But I think it's great to go out and find those times to meet them and hear their story, and you can pick ones. that maybe meet your passion too.
Yeah.
Right.
And the liquor thing, we've done a thing with Mothers Against Drunk Driving, right? So you see this energy kind of
that's
falls
great.
in. Yeah. So we donated to them. We can't do that while we sell liquor. Right.
That would be tough.
Yeah, it would be tough.
That would be tough. I have been fascinated by that decision.
Yeah.
Because it's from a business standpoint, it feels
a lot of our
it feels like you're going against yourself.
Yeah, among our gas station guys, they think I'm nuts, and it's been a slow growth. We could have multiple growths by having liquor and tackling multiple stores. Again, being an IT guy, I'm very data driven. If a site calls for much liquor sales, we probably won't be interested in it. It's not for us. But something that we say, you know what, we could get by without it, we'll do it.
Well, I think let's let the data driven thing. I think that's good. Let's get back to what you said earlier. I do want to talk about this, where you said, I don't want to grow. Our goal is not to grow past the KC area.
Yeah.
But with the growth you've seen, don't the numbers tell you that maybe you should?
Yeah, the requests come in and they say, but I have to be honest with my limitation, and that's a lesson for a lot of entrepreneurs. Is know your limits and your ambition, and set up smart goals every year. Like I review mine every month, right? Where they're time sensitive, measurable. You can't just set up grandeur goals and not look into them or follow. Like one goal, my idea is to shoot a feature film now. It's been on the list for many years and never did it. Finally executing on it in December in Pakistan, overseas, which I never shot a film in my life, right? We've been shooting YouTube content, but shooting an actual film that would hopefully play in theaters. Not hopefully, actually, it will play in theaters, and it'll be on Netflix and Prime, and everybody's going to have a bidding war here, okay? Sundance Film Festival. But that's the idea, is that you set up smart goals. For me, if I focus more on growth in other states, I know I can't do these other things. And one of the biggest things, the one last takeaway I'll give you guys, is that I've been a strong believer in not having much regrets on my deathbed when I'm like 90 or 110 years old, where I say, I wish I shot that.
You got more faith in living longer than I do.
Yeah, I'm trying. Hey, my thing is not having regrets that I didn't do the things I really wanted to do. But if I focus on growth and taking the brand nationwide, I can't do those things. And I gave the industry my 20 years. I'm just in a new chapter. Nothing wrong with growth of in one area over the other, but there's trade-offs. There's always trade-offs, whether it's family time trade-off, other ambitions trade-off. You build up regrets. Well, if I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that.
While you're not taking the FavTrip brand nationally, moving it around, you are, though, in a way. I mean, you just said you're gonna go speak at the NACS. You've been speaking at other things around the country, so you are kind of spreading.
I get to speak around, and which I enjoy. I'm teaching about AI and retail and marketing. But as far as like opening up location, it's a big effort, going different states and different, dealing with different things. Again, I could systemize this, start franchising, but it feels like I will lose a lot of control as well. And I'm not, locally. I just like to stay local, and I just enjoy it.
Well, I can't wait for the film to happen.
Yes,
because we're going to have, Lee Summit, producer, director.
We'll have a B&B, theater showing with all the Lee Summit folks.
There we go. Well, that leads me, as we kind of wrap things up here, because I know that you're busy. You got things you got to go do. You live in Lee Summit. You've raised a family in Lee Summit. You have extended family around Lee Summit.
Yes.
When are we getting a Lee Summit FavTrip?
I would love.
I'm putting you on the spot right now.
I wouldn't mind being in Lee Summit for sure. It has been a location finding, and if you have a location, reach out to Nick or me that you think will be ideal for us. I would love to have one. It's just if things line up correctly, it will. And we looked at some, ground up sites that we'll love to do. Again, if the data makes sense and the numbers make sense, I would not be against being in Lee Summit at all.
Is the real estate side of that just a whole other game?
It is, yeah. The things are not as they used to be. For example, buying a site and then not being able to sell, not wanting to sell liquor. And there's another factor we have to chime in. But I know a lot of Lee Summit will be very welcoming change as well. But it goes back to, you don't want to be next to a big competitor, even though there's a land there. You're not going to do well, right? So going a little out of the skirts of Lee Summit if I have to, but the locations have to line up. And then, congrats to Lee Summit of getting a Costco here, right? I love Costco, but being next to them would be a nightmare for a small operator with their gas prices. You just can't compete, right?
Right.
So you just gotta. It has to line up well enough. Like Grandview has been very welcoming. Independence, Missouri has been great. Kansas City Mark has been. Lee Summit is definitely on our top list. If I had to build one ground up, I'm more than happy to put in the effort for Lee Summit. It's my hometown, so
there you go.
I would love to be here for sure.
Well, Babir, I'm not talking now.
You're good.
Babir, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, man. This has been awesome. I appreciate
this is
you
fun.
having
We're going
me.
to do a part 2 because I have many other questions. And I really think we're going to spend like a whole hour next time
We can.
just on the movie.
Yes.
When are you heading overseas?
December, I head out. Be back in January with a full feature film in my hand. And a bunch of files to edit later. I'll probably get your help here at Bridge Space editing them out.
We'll be in the vault editing.
Yes.
That's fine.
Yeah, we'll be editing away next year, and hopefully you get to see a trailer sometime 2026 summer.
Oh, that is awesome. Babir, thanks so much, and good luck. I don't even need to say it, man. You are always chasing, you're hustling. I think it's I don't really like hustle culture, but I don't know another word. You are like, you assault things.
I execute. A strength finder say I like to execute things. If I make an idea, I like to execute on it or put them to rest, basically. Right? So that's the idea. If you have ambitions, goals, follow Nick, follow his channel. He's always awesome guests here that he has. And it's good to be here. Thank you so much.
Last thing. Tell people if they want to follow you, they want to follow FavTrip, they want to go find FavTrip. Where's the nearest FavTrip?
Yeah, FavTrip, the nearest one to Lee Summit is Grandview, Missouri, 6501 Main Street. That's our flagship store. Independence, Missouri. There's some in Kansas City. FavTrip.com, or just go to YouTube and type FavTrip. If you want to learn more about me, I'm mostly active on LinkedIn, more or less. So.
He's a good LinkedIn follow.
Yeah.
I'll give a nudge for that. And look, go watch the security cam videos on YouTube.
Yes,
you're gonna have a great time.
Many hours will get lost watching those shoplifting
and little known
videos.
secret, a lot of those voiceovers happen right here in the vault.
They do, actually. They literally do. And I have one that I have to do today. So yeah, awesome.
Awesome. Thank you. That'll wrap us up for this week. We'll talk to everybody next time.